I only got to about the first 20 minutes. And what I found intriguing was the title, When They See Us. So when I say when they see us, actually when I point to you, I want you all to say when they see us. I'm going to give a good test run, okay?
When they see us.
All right, good. I know we're working. So the Central Park 5 story really struck me. It was about 5 teenagers in New York City. They were accused of raping a jogger out in New York City. They found that the young men did not commit the crime, but they served from 6 years and 12 years in prison for a crime that they didn't commit. So can you imagine a kid as young as 13, 14 years old spending 12 years in prison for a crime they didn't commit? Just hearing the story alone makes me tear up. And to watch the docuseries and knowing that it was so intense that they actually had to hire grief counselors to work on the set to help those who were traumatized by performing their roles in the movie. So I wanted to talk about that in the aspect of when people see us, what do they see? All right, so
When they see us.
when they see us, they see God. I truly believe that we are the evidence of God's divine presence. We're made in God's image, and we're all beautifully and individually made. Has anyone ever seen the movie Us?
Yes.
Us was a great movie, but it was a little violent too, so I'm not going to the gory details. But I will talk about us in the aspect of us being tethered. So in the movie Us, you had individuals who were regular people like us, but they were tethered to these individuals who looked just like them, and they lived underground. So every time the person above ground moved, the person underground moved. And I think about when I was young and how tethered I was to the world, whether it was being tethered. I wanted to be Puff Daddy when I was young. That was my goal. I was going to go to college. My dad didn't know this, but I was going to be the next Puff Daddy. Fortunately, that didn't happen. But, when you're young, you are tethered to several things. It's even now, they have a new diagnosis for video game addiction. It's actually a real addiction now. Kids are being tethered to Fortnite. I just spent $25 for my daughter who likes Fortnite so she can buy some clothes for her person that she plays with. And now I'm thinking, I spent $25 for her to put clothes on a fictional character. But I feel like I'm a little tethered. We tethered to our kids. You get a little tethered and you do stuff and you think about it like, I just worked all week and I paid $25. So I need to untether myself. So where are my seniors at? Just raise your hands. Anyone that's in college? I want you all to think about some things that you're tethered to. Because when I was in college, I seen people come back home because they were tethered to their parents. I seen people fail out of school because they were tethered to partying all weekend. And in college, the party started on Thursday night. It used to start on Friday, but in college it started Thursday, Friday, Saturday, going all weekend.
Right.
So my advice is not to be tethered to those parties, because I guarantee you will be at home in the next semester. All right, so.
Oh no.
Y'all falling asleep. That's why I hate speaking after the food, because everybody get a little sleepy and tired. So I'm going to try this again. They see our family and our ancestors. And I want you all, when the band comes back on, I want you all to do a special rendition of Happy Birthday to Stevie Wonder version, because today is my dad's birthday. He's 71 today.
All right. So, yes.
It's a blessing to have him here with me today. And being a preacher's kid, I'm sure Reverend Jones can attest to this, you get a very short leash. Some kids are wearing, a leash where they can at least, go out there and go to the fence, go to the driveway. When you're a preacher's kid, your leash is just very short. Especially when you grew up in a small community, because no matter where I went, everyone knew my dad. And for the longest time, I thought my name was Lil Ron. It was not Ronnie Sidney the second, it was Lil Ron. So, I had to grow into my own, but I'm thankful and blessed to have a wonderful family, especially a wonderful church family. Because I tell people, when I was in school, I had ADHD. I didn't have ADHD in church, because the church mothers knew what to do to correct that ADHD. They knew how to, my mom, she might not have went to church that Sunday, but it was all good, because the church mothers had it covered.
Exactly.
I also want to talk about this year being a 400-year anniversary of our presence in America. Well, I won't say our presence, because I believe we came here before Columbus arrived, but I guess for the official commemoration, it will be 400 years since the first slave ship brought Africans to American shore. And I really want us to take some time with us today to really reflect on our ancestors and reflect on what it was like to be kidnapped from your homeland, spending months on a ship at the bottom in the bows of the ship with only inches, to move, to make that journey, and then to work your entire life as a slave, where you don't have your religion, you don't have your name, you have no culture, and then for us to get to this